Frozenheim is what most gamers may know as your standard, slow-paced, real-time strategy game set in the Viking era. You gather an allotment of resources like food, stone, and iron ore, while using some of these said materials to make steel, clothing, and other materials to help further expand your troops and village. It's not a very complex system as far as the resource management goes. You only need food for your village, in which it's retrieved through fishing boats, hunting, and other farming mechanics. You build collector's huts and woodcutter shacks to retrieve stone and iron, and use other buildings like this to turn these resources into more specialized goods. Housing is as you would expect, with each house increasing your population and having the ability to upgrade them to further increase your population cap. Now you can upgrade your base and specialize in one of 4 factions. Each of these 4 factions all have different specialties. One being the Master of Defense, another being stronger in resource management, and others with similar features. They all more or less look the same, but you can upgrade your troops and see a difference in their appearance. There are also ruin stones scattered throughout each map. When each of the 6 ruin stones are captured, you can just end the game by summoning Ragnarok and wiping out all the enemies. And this is where the game kind of teeters down in my opinion. This is a bit of a broken mechanic and should have just been implemented as a special game mode. Also, the way you achieve victory or defeat is by eliminating the town center. None of the other buildings really matter, so this can make combat really quick and kind of lame. You can build up walls and fortify your base, but I found it kind of frustrating to use, and truthfully, the walls and gates are all not that powerful and can be easily burned down. This game is broken up into only a few game modes. You have survival mode, which is exactly as it sounds, where you fend off wave after wave of enemies. You have skirmish, which you only really have a free-for-all, team deathmatch, or a 1v1. You do have the ability to play a base builder mode, which there are no enemies and you can just kind of build and explore freely. And lastly, there is a campaign, which I appreciate because it does have a story with cutscenes and it follows a Viking tribe through their trials and tribulations on a journey to Valhalla, so to speak. While playing each of these maps, there are a ton of random encounters that spice up the gameplay and offer more resources and assistance. With that being said, the game is really focused on the resource and base building side of things, with the combat being the secondary focus. It is incredibly slow paced, and you won't be building armies of 200 soldiers and siege weapons taking down major fortresses. Instead, you'll have a band of maybe 30 Vikings taking down a small village. The graphics are beautiful, and you could tell the developers put a lot of care into each map they've created. Being as weird of a design as some of them are, there are seasons which play an effect on food and can make the world look different, adding a lot of life to the gameplay. But all this to say, I did enjoy my time with Frozenheim. Although the combat was a bit of a weak point in the game, it was still a lot of fun watching my Vikings up close, burning down a village, and watching my tiny Viking village turn into quite the formidable base. So if I were to score it, I'd have to give it a 6.5. It's beautiful and would be pretty fun to mess around with a mate for a handful of hours, or even just playing solo through the campaign. I did have quite a bit of fun.